Dear friends, we now pause for this brief commercial. As you know, some years ago I wrote The Life of Georges-Fernand Dunot de Maclou, Doctor of the Grotto, which in a few weeks will be published in French. It took us 2 years to translate it, so this will be published in French. So, some people said that this book is too big to read, and so we made this shorter version. The shorter version is published in Italian and in French, and in a few weeks it will be ready in English. So I invite you to know and make known the life of this man who was a Lantarian lay associate. He was a friend of the oblate, Father Pernetti, and also a friend of Becchiala. This is a person who I believe oblates of the Virgin Mary should know, and friends of the oblates should know. This is a doctor who is connected to the life of the shrine at Lourdes. I would like to say just a few words about the important things he did. When he went to Lourdes for the first time, he brought his wife. He was spiritually guided by the oblates of the Virgin Mary and brought his sick wife with him to Lourdes. His wife would die there. He was a doctor, but this first experience at this Marian shrine made him realize that there were 2 things missing from Lourdes. Years later, by God's grace, he would solve these 2 problems. What were these 2 missing things? The first one was that there was no medical office examining the reported healings. At that time, when a person declared that he or she was healed, it was reported to the priests. But Dunot de Maclou said that the healing really needed to be reported to a doctor, not to a priest. It was the doctor who had to ascertain if the healing was natural or psychosomatic, or if it was a healing with no medical explanation. That is why Dunot de Maclou founded the Bureau de Constatation Médicale. This is to verify if a healing is natural, and this exists even today. It is unique in the world. A bureau like this does not exist among the Buddhists or the Hindus or the Muslims. A bureau like this does not even exist in other parts of the Catholic Church. A shrine with an office which examines the healings? Only at Lourdes. The second thing he realizes is missing from Lourdes is an organization. At that time, there were people who helped at the baths, but sometimes these same people caused problems too. Others caused problems in the processions. So he founded the Hospitalité de Notre-Dame de Lourdes, which organized the service at the pools, the service at the processions, the service at the altar, and he wrote the rules. He did this while he was a member at our OMV church of San Ponzio. Because he spent the winter in San Ponzio and the rest of the time in Lourdes, he was considered a Lantarian lay associate of the Oblates of the Virgin Mary. For this reason, I think that he is a character who deserves to be known, a shining star of our institute, the Oblates of the Virgin Mary. He is just one of many worthy people, laymen, laywomen, who lived lives associated with the Oblates of the Virgin Mary and who deserve to be known. And so, in a few weeks, we will have the English edition of this book and the French edition of this book. This concludes our commercial break. I thank you.